Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid review. 2-1 win away against Elche, meaning that we are through to the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey. I've got a whole lot of things to talk about, right? A whole lot of things to talk about. And I've got a little note here. Now, we're going to talk about the goals first. And then we'll talk about, the red cards that came, and then we'll talk about the notes that I've talked about, and then there's just a lot of stuff to talk about. Now, the first goal from Elche, there's a free kick. They hit the wall, and then they took a rebound shot. I think it took a deflection. I don't know who it took a deflection off, but it went in and took a deflection, and then 1-0 in the 103rd minute. And then in the 108th minute, Ceballos made the pass. I don't know if his pass was a shot or a pass, but let's just say it's a pass. He made the pass to Isco, who scored, and it was 1-1. Isco scoring, and then Hazard scoring as well, rounding past the goalkeeper onto his left foot and empty net goal. Now, I don't know, is this 2015 or is it 2021? No, 2022. I get the years mixed up, man. I don't know. Right? And then there was 2 red cards. I think one of the red card from them wasn't a foul. I think it might have been what the player said to the referee at the end for Elche. But our red card was Marcelo, I guess, fouling. Is it really a foul? Do we really think that's a foul? I want to hear what everybody thinks of that, because is that actually a foul? Should that have been just a yellow, or should we have just gotten away with it? At the time of recording, it has been confirmed that Marcelo will be out for 3 games, right? So 3 games he will be out for. Of course, the 3 next Copa del Rey games. So, quarterfinal against Bilbao, and the 2 semi-final legs as well. If we do get there, obviously. This is a dramatic game. It's just absolutely dramatic. Now, my notes. First up, Lunin's performance. Now, it's a bit of a sad slash. What's the word? Sad for Lunin? Disappointing. Unfortunate, I guess, is the word I was looking for. That Courtois is at the club. Lunin is such a good goalkeeper, a good backup goalie, but I feel like he thinks if I go to a mid-table team, I can guarantee myself game time, week in, week out, and that's probably what he wants. And I'm just sorry, but you're not gonna get that here at Real Madrid, especially with goalkeepers. They can go for a long time. So Courtois, I don't see him being aging. He can go maybe under 30, 35. That is goalkeepers. They go on to a long age, a long time. So Lunin, if he does want to have the hopes of being the main choice goalie in the future, he's gonna wait for a few seasons, or wait for Courtois to drop off, which is just not looking likely at all. He did do quite well, made a couple of crucial saves, big saves to keep us in the game. Or we could have conceded 2, 3, 4 goals and already got knocked out. We would never have won this game. Camavinga to improve was the next one. Now, I know Camavinga is still young, he's quite good overall, but I saw a couple of his shots, and I'm just saying, right, all of his shots is straight at the goalkeeper, or most of them anyways, which is something that he probably has to improve. Obviously, as a midfielder, you want to be as well-rounded as possible, Yeah, maybe you're more of a defensive midfielder, but, maybe you could improve on your going forward ability. Even if you're a defensive midfielder, you could be an attacking midfielder, but you could maybe help out defensively. So that is the kind of thing, right? And I see him come up maybe as a box-to-box midfielder, potentially. But again, he's only 19, he still has time to perform and improve. So let's not put too much pressure on him just yet. But it's just a bit of a slight note I was having when I watched the game. Next up, Vini's poorest game of the season. or most disappointing game of the season so far? Question mark. Now, in my opinion, this is a yes, right? Since the start of this season, Vini has been arguably our best player along with Karim Benzema and maybe Thibaut Courtois as well. So, obviously, when he missed out against Getafe, we lost. We had no creativity on the left-hand side. We didn't have a fast, quick, skillful dribbler on the left-hand side. But when we do have that, we don't have Benzema. So, I think Vini is, I guess, the player. I was gonna make a comparison on a car. I guess he's the engine and maybe Benzema the wheels of the car. But that sounds a bit weird. Anyways, let's just talk like actual football stuff. Vini is quick, is skillful, and has good dribbling, but he ain't got just yet as good of a finisher as Benzema has. So obviously, it's like a dream player, right? Your dream player, especially for a forward, is quick, good dribbling, good passing, good shooting, good physical, and that is a bit of Vini and Benz combined. And this is how both of them have been so incredible this season. And when we have Benz, we don't have the quick, fast dribbler. When we have Vini, we don't have the finisher. So I feel like the both of them need each other. And this is the thing: if we are looking to move on Benzema, or if Benzema isn't at that he's 34 at the moment, if Benzema isn't able to stay, fit for every game, I feel like we will need Haaland more than Mbappe, and that is sort of an observation. I think I feel like Haaland is more important. He's more of a finisher. He's more of a target man. He's more of a striker. And obviously, what's happening with Mbappe, he could sign a new deal. He could, just stay at PSG. It will be quite tough to try to get him. And the thing is, if he does sign with continue another contract with PSG, Mbappe, we should look at Haaland instead of saying we want Mbappe first. Because firstly, I feel like a finisher is probably what we need, right? I know it would be the dream to have Vini, Mbappe, Benzema, but Benzema's aging. He might not be able to fit, or he might not fit, or what's the word? Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. My English is horrible. He might not be fit enough, to play week in, week out. So what I'm saying is we probably need a finisher more, right? A Benzema replacement. We already have Vini, Rodrigo, Eden Hazard, Asensio. These are some. I wouldn't say they're all the same, no, but Rodrigo, he can be a quick, skillful, fast dribbler as well, right? Hazard, not really. Neither is Asensio really, but they're still quite decent players on the wing. So I feel like the striker, or at least a main forward, a main number 9 who scores you goals, is what we'll be looking at. If we can't get Mbappe, if you get Mbappe, I don't see us getting Haaland. If you get Haaland, I don't see us getting Mbappe. This is what is going on. Ultimately, is Mbappe's choice. If he decides to sign, it shows that he doesn't have the ambition to come to Real Madrid. Because he's been saying it for a few years now. I think was it for the past year. He wants to join Real Madrid. He's made it clear to PSG that he wants to join. So there wouldn't be much sense for him to sign a new contract anyways. So maybe that is just rumors and speculations around Paris, that they are hopeful that he signs a new contract. Because let's be honest, firstly, right, he has said many times he wants to leave, right? He wants to join Real Madrid, right? And one thing that I feel like we have to point out is, why would he sign right now unless he's trying to troll the Real Madrid fans and be like, and show the Real Madrid fans, be like, I'm going to sign for Real Madrid, and then a few months later sign for PSG, which I don't see him doing. I don't think any players is that unprofessional enough to do that kind of childish act, right? So I don't think he is purposely trying to, do the roller coaster ride and, am I gonna sign? Am I not gonna sign? I'm gonna sign. I'm not gonna sign. I feel like he's made his mind up that he's gonna join Real Madrid in the summer. Now, the obstacles that are coming is the PSG board, the rich people putting pressure on him, right? And the money they're offering him is a lot of money. But now, when we talk about money, it's up to whether he wants money or he wants to be part of a team with a lot of history, rich history. If you choose the money side, there's no way we can compete with PSG. Not now, anyways. If you choose the rich history side, there's no way PSG can compete with us. So, it really depends on what he choose. If he does with PSG, I feel like he would have signed the contract a few months ago. So, it wouldn't make sense for him to delay until now. He would have probably signed a new deal with PSG maybe a month or two ago, right? If he really wanted to stay. So there's no reason, unless he changed his mind last second, which I really don't see who and how will change his mind. Sometimes even your family can't change your mind, let alone a president, a sporting director, a club. So if your own family can't change your mind, I'm sure the Mbappe family will be saying, stay in PSG, you get paid more. But if Mbappe really is set to go to Real Madrid and he has set his heart to come to Real Madrid, why? You know, why? Are you, if let's say you are the family and you are against him joining Real Madrid, why? You gotta ask yourself that. Why? My son, since he was a kid, wanted to play football, be one of the best in the world, play for Real Madrid, and you are blocking him from his dreams. You are forcing him basically to say, come to stay in PSG, send a contract, don't go anywhere, only PSG. This is like you are forcing your son to this route, to this direction. Let him choose. If Mbappe wants PSG, he will choose PSG. If he wants Real Madrid, he'll choose Real Madrid. And this is one thing I can't understand. I'm sure this isn't just a football thing. It's probably about like just life in general. It's like, oh son, you must work as this, a doctor, for example. And your son is like, no, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a what jobs are there? I want to be a person, an engineer, for example. I can't think of many jobs. You don't force your kids to be something, and I feel like that's what a few. I'm not so sure who have been trying to force him to sign with PSG. Or I don't think they might be forcing it. They might be trying to say that's the best thing, right? But if they do get to the stage where it's forcing, I just don't understand why. And there's no need to put a pressure on your children. There's no need for you to say, stay with PSG to pay a lot of money, right? If your son wants to go to Real Madrid, he'll choose, right? So that's just me on my take on this as well. Next up, how they went from Vini to Mbappe and Alan, by the way, I have no idea. Marcelo should have been a red card, yes or no? Personally, for me, it's a bit harsh to give him red, but I feel like if you didn't give him red, you would be letting him get away with it. So I feel like, I don't know, I can't say for certain whether I think that's a red or no red, but I want to hear what you guys have a thought or think about it in the comment section down below, or after games. Nowadays I'll be putting my thoughts, or I'll be asking for thoughts, and I'll be especially asking Real Madrid news, because I think it's the only Real Madrid fan who follows me on Twitter. So yeah, I went to my Twitter page and I was like, hey, just scroll, and then he's like, oh, this guy follows me. I'm like, okay, let me ask him, and he actually replied as well, by the way, which is quite funny. We'll get onto that later. Next up, Eden Hazard, Ceballos, and Isco helping us progress and win this game. Now, I feel like with Dani Ceballos, there is just too much competition, and Isco as well. They have too much competition. We do have an attacking midfielder, and realistically, we never really have a spot for an attacking offensive midfielder in that midfield. So maybe you can say Modric and Kroos maybe a little bit, maybe Modric a little bit more going forward, maybe Kroos, maybe not really. But we don't really have in our main team an offensive player. And I just want to say, right, I don't hate Isco, I don't dislike Isco, but the big wages he's on, right, that is going to affect us, you know, both financially and on the pitch, you know, because he's not going to do much. He might come in and score once or twice a season or something. It's like Bale. You know, Bale did score like once this season, didn't he? But ever since then, he's done nothing. He's been injured and out and all sorts. He just hasn't played. And that's what Isco is doing. So I feel like players like Isco, Bale, Marcelo, Ceballos, Vallejo, Mariano, maybe Jovic, Hazard, these are the kind of players who will be looking to move on from Real Madrid. Because firstly, no disrespect to these players, Bale was incredible when we signed him, but ever since the 2018 Champions League final, it's just been horrendous. Isco, pretty much the same thing. Marcelo, these three players just became horrible since Cristiano Ronaldo left. Ceballos never really, I guess, never really gonna be a player who plays week in week out. He could leave, give us a bit of money. Whoever wants to buy him, maybe I think that was one of the Italian teams were interested. Get him. Mariano, no disrespect to him, but he just isn't Real Madrid quality. Why did we buy him? And we're giving him so much money that he is refusing to leave. Because firstly, let's say it's a three-party thing: the player, his agent, the club that he's trying to sell, and the club they're trying to buy. The club trying to sell is like, you know what, we want this amount of money for him. The club who's trying to buy is like, ain't no way I'm going to pay you, like, for example, let's say 20 million plus his wages, right? And the only way for the two sides to negotiate a deal is either the club selling, reduce the fee at maybe to nothing, right? Or the player and his agent reduce on their wages. And this is what a lot of clubs are doing. So especially the big clubs are in financial trouble. This is the reason they have got multiple big players, or not big players, but players on big wages. So all I'm saying is, it's very tough when you are in the situation, when you are here, to get rid of these players because they are already on such big wages. Why would they want to leave? They are also humans. They need money to, for their family, for themselves, So I can completely understand from a human point of view, from a player's point of view, why they don't want to leave. But from a club's point of view, they should leave. They should take a pay cut. They should leave. But obviously, if I put myself as a player and a club is paying me ridiculous money, I'll be like, nah, I'm not leaving. You're giving me so much money. It's your fault. So it is indeed the club's fault. So it is indeed our fault that we signed Mariano in the first place, let alone giving him big money wages. And then who else was talking about? Jovic. Is it ever going to be the Jovic at Frankfurt that we spent? Was it 18 million on? Something stupid like that. We're never gonna get as much as we paid for him and Hazard, but at least if we can recoup a little bit of money from them too, it'll be nice. Obviously, I'm not saying this to suggest we're selling them in January, but I'm talking more of the summer. And obviously, we'll talk more about it when we get into the summer. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna do any deals in the January, especially outgoings, because it has hurt us depth-wise. I've said it many times before. When a player is tested positive for COVID or injuries, one or two players out, let's say Courtois and Modric goes out, for example, that is two quality players out. So if we, for example, sell Ceballos and we need him, for example, or we have no squad depth, then we'll be looking and we'll be thinking, why did we actually sell him? We could have kept him. So this is a bit of a dilemma for every selling club as well, because they have to get in a replacement if they want to sell their current player. And this is why we're not seeing that many deals go through. There's a lot of speculations, about like a lot of big names thrown around being like, oh, can this player join this club? Will this player join this club? And the reason why it hasn't happened is basically because the clubs can't reach an agreement. Let's say Club A wants to buy a player from Club B. Club B sells to Club A. Club B will have to buy a replacement. And if Club B needs a replacement, they go to Club C and buy Club C's player. Club C will also need a replacement. So this will go on forever and ever, right? So January is genuinely not the greatest time to do business at all. Especially when we're in the middle of a season where the top teams are fighting for European spots, fighting for the Champions League, fighting in their respective domestic leagues, fighting for their league cups. There's just so many things going on that a lot of clubs just are not willing to sell. So I don't see us selling anyone. I think it'll be a dumb thing to do, especially in January. When we get into the summer, then we will talk about should we release and let him go and move him on. then we'll talk about that. But obviously in January, not so much. But Eden Hazard, Ceballos, and Isco helping us get to the next round is just absolutely incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. And I'll talk about Hazard a little bit more. I feel like he needs to play more to find consistency. And I feel like, funnily enough, we are playing Elche next at the Bernabeu in La Liga on Sunday, by the way. So this video will be out on Saturday. The game is on Sunday, so I will have to be able to record it ASAP. But I feel like if Hazard can play against Elche again, on the right hand side, put Vinny on the left, just give Hazard the chance, and we'll see how he does. If he can score another 1 or 2 somehow, or get a good performance, right? If he scores 1 more, people will be starting to think, is Hazard actually back? But if he's just a 1 game player who's just like, oh, 1 game I come and score a goal, and then I'm vanishing for the next 6 months. So I feel like he has to put in these performances consistently and not just 1 game, because doing it, especially for a 100 million euros player, doing it in 1 game, it just doesn't mean that much, you know. We paid so much for him. We expected him to do it so much. We expected him to score like 20 goals a season, and he's scoring 1 goal like every 6 months. So yeah, if he does score a couple more in the upcoming games, people will start saying, is Hazard back? You know, can he slowly get back? But yeah, this is why there isn't much talking point on Eden Hazard just yet. Now, like I said before, I put it out on Twitter yesterday. I can't show you guys, but I'll read it out. I'll show you why Real Madrid 2, any thoughts on the game, especially Real Madrid news. Obviously, the only Real Madrid fan who follows me, so I went through, checked all my 80 followers, and saw that there was only pretty much 1 that I could tell. And he was a long-time follower as well. He's been following me for months, and for some reason, right? He's got a nice image of a Real Madrid fan account and Real Madrid news account. So, yeah, you should go and follow him as well. He just like get news out as well. He's not like he's like 1 or 2 followers, but yeah, go and check him out. Now, he says, I feel like we weren't the best, but we moved. I guess he says, I guess he meant that we move on. He then says, Marcelo's red is an individual mistake from Isco, obviously the back pass from Isco, which left him, I guess, choiceless. He says no choice. Hazard finally scored and Ceballos was good. Really agree. I really agree with what he says there. And yeah, I just feel like, you know, hopefully we can firstly get Hazard back onto the form, you know, that he should be, and just keep performing like this. Obviously, I think Ancelotti said this was the best victory or something like that along those lines. And that is because we worked for it. You know, we were 1-0 down in the 103rd minute. Went to the second half of extra time, came back out, and we scored 2 goals. You know, we worked relatively hard since we conceded to get back into the game. So you can understand why everybody thinks that this is one of the better performances. This isn't just like us beating a team like 5-1 for example, or 4-1. No, not trying to, you know, hit at the game against Valencia, by the way. No, genuinely not. But all I'm saying is, this is one of those games where we actually worked super hard to get back into. Drama was obviously there as well, but that's what you really want to see from a football game, really. Elche gave us a big fight, but I don't think that was really enough. But yeah, that is where I'm going to end off today's video, Real Madrid review. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's Real Madrid review. Follow me on Instagram. I do post FIFA stuff and all down in the link below. Here's the time if you guys did enjoy today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.